Your inner circle's been compromised. Either you can't see that or you don't want to.
Who you think they talk about?
Watch yourself. You're not Steve Rogers.
You're right, I'm not.
Who you think they talk about? Talk about us.
Stand by for proof of death.
You want me? Come and get me!
On your left.
Sam Wilson.
Steve Rogers.
I'll do my best.
That's why it's yours.
The world is on the brink of war.
Adamantium has turned us against each other.
It's Captain America's job to fix that. It's my job to fix it.
I want you, Captain America, to help me rebuild the Avengers. Work with me, Sam. We'll show the world a better way forward.
Go, go, go!
There's possibility of another attack. Let me fix it. What if it's a trap? Somebody is pulling the strings on everything.
Captain America. You don't even know what this is.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year. Marvel released a brand new Captain America Brave New World trailer. There's a bunch of new footage, so we'll break it down, a whole bunch of Easter eggs, but they're literally dropping it on New Year's Eve because it's Brave New World. The movie's coming out in February, so naturally they're starting to release way more footage. But also they're trying to tie into the whole theme of the movie, especially with that Kendrick song too. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. There's a bunch of big stuff coming just in general from Marvel, like really hyped up about Daredevil Born Again. We also have the Thunderbolts movie, we have the brand new Fantastic Four movie, a bunch of other stuff. So of course I will be doing videos for everything. And that's just for the Marvel related stuff, like that barely touches it. But probably the biggest new stuff they have in this is the Chris Evans, Steve Rogers stuff and more of his fight with Red Hulk. The fight itself seems like it stems from the actual White House transformation when they're outside on the lawn and he transforms into Red Hulk and just destroys part of the White House. It kind of looks like Sam Wilson is trying to lead him away from the White House because you see him jumping through the air chasing him as he flies with his wingsuit. Probably to help reduce some of the collateral damage. Like if you were in a fight with any of the Hulks, like whichever Hulk you want to pick, you would probably try to lead them away from a large group of people. Like, why don't we go out to the middle of the desert, like the middle of nowhere, where there's nobody for you to actually destroy? Because during his transformation scene here, it looks like he just absolutely wrecks everything all around him without even barely touching it. The whole thing with all the flames, too. We talked about this in previous videos, but that's part of his additional powers from the comics that he has that Green Hulk, Bruce Banner, does not have. Normally, when you think about the powers of the Hulk, you just think about the idea that he gets stronger the madder he gets. But Thunderbolt Ross Red Hulk, the madder he gets, the hotter his skin gets. Eventually in the comics, like flames will actually start coming off of his skin. They might just show his skin getting super hot so that things that he touches get lit on fire. Because of the way they visualized a lot of the posters for the movie with him palming Captain America's vibranium shield, bending it around the edges, you kind of wonder though, if his skin is going to get so hot, will he actually melt his shield a little bit? I don't think they'll have him totally destroy Captain America's vibranium shield, but they might eventually turn into a twist where the shield becomes part adamantium too, because the shield is part adamantium in the comics, but not in the MCU. Like, it's a vibranium shield in the MCU, but that's just because of the rights situation that Marvel had when they did the original Captain America movie.
Disney bought Fox, there was a whole boring rights issue, blah 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 blah.
That was way back in the Dark Ages, in the time before times when Fox still had the X-Men, so MCU couldn't do any adamantium-related stuff. But they do heavily reference adamantium during the trailer here. One of the other new scenes here, you have Giancarlo Esposito's Sidewinder character who's in charge of the Serpent Society. He's the leader of the Serpent Society during the movie. When he says hold for proof of death, he's actually talking about Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson. But it's not clear if he's hired by Thunderbolt Ross or he's hired by the leader, just because when you think Serpent Society, you typically think of villains. In the context of the movie, I think he's meant to be former military, so like he used to work for the US military. But in the movie, Serpent Society might just be a mercenary group. I also kind of think they used the Kendrick song N95 just as a nod to the whole theme of the movie Brave New World, being a reference to what the leader's evil master plan is, the way the dead celestial Tiamat is influencing the geopolitics of the world post-Avengers Endgame, like a post-Endgame world. Part of the idea in the movie is they're making it seem like the other nations of the world are basically stockpiling as many superpowered resources as possible, like the newly discovered adamantium on the dead celestial Tiamat. All the different nations of the world have turned into like this doomsday prepper situation where like everybody's trying to race to become the strongest, most protected nation in the planet. Something like the nation of Wakanda, where it's meant to be like the most defensible nation on the planet because of the way its shield works. That was actually a big plot point during Black Panther Wakanda Forever, where like other nations were vying for its vibranium because they wanted to be protected or as protected as Wakanda was. Everybody on the planet was so traumatized by what happened with Thanos in the last couple of Avengers movies, like all these world-ending threats, that has just driven them to this crazy point during Captain America Brave New World. Where the leader comes in with that, I think, is the idea that he's juicing Thunderbolt Ross with his Hulk serum, turning him into Red Hulk as a way to push the world over the edge into full-on war, because everybody's vying over these limited resources, particularly adamantium being found on the celestial Tiamat. And I think part of the idea is that the leader is also threatening to give the Hulk serum to other nations and other warlords around the world, like basically like the highest bidder. Give it to everybody almost. And one of the other big references during the trailer that Thunderbolt Ross makes, like one of the other big ideas here, is that currently there's no active Avengers team on the planet to serve as a deterrent to any potential extraterrestrial, like alien threat that comes along and tries to destroy the world again. Also making all the different nations of the world very uneasy, which I think is part of the reason why Thunderbolt Ross wants Anthony Mackie's Captain America to help him rebuild a new Avengers team, just to help the world chill out a little bit. Like, look, we have these amazing superpowered heroes. They will totally destroy any threat that comes along. The way that Anthony Mackie's talked about Thunderbolt Ross during this movie is that their working relationship is actually pretty good at the beginning of the movie because they both came through the military. And one of the big themes post-Endgame is the idea that the world's still kind of in a rebuilding stage, but also worried about potential future threats. So like, how are they going to deal with that? Thus, you eventually need another Avengers team to come along. And like, we've just finally reached the point where that's turned into like a really, really big thing on Thunderbolt Ross's mind. We've already talked about the way they're actually addressing that in the MCU, though, especially with the Thunderbolts team and Val. Like, Val has her own idea about how she's going to solve this problem. Like, there is no Avengers team, but there are bigger, worse threats out there that are coming, particularly in Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom from another universe. But they don't actually know about that yet. Like, Val doesn't know that this other Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom exists yet. They're just thinking about other big celestial level threats, like other Thanoses out there coming to destroy the world. That was why in the Thunderbolts trailer, Val was telling them, you think that I'm bad, but there's things out there that are way worse than me. There are bad guys and worse guys. So she's trying to spin it as if she's the bad guy that you need because things out there are so much worse. But I think a lot of what's happening in this with like the prep for the new Avengers teams forming, like the one that Sam Wilson is going to try and put together and the one that Val is going to try and put together with the Thunderbolts characters and the whole Dark Avengers of it all, is that none of these groups are going to be prepared for when Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom shows up. Like their greatest friend, like the greatest superhero that the world ever knew, sacrificed himself during Endgame, suddenly looks like he's about to destroy the planet. There's also the twist of him probably bringing an evil Avengers team with him, with, say, like a version of Chris Evans who's playing Captain America from another reality with like a totally different persona. He might be wind up playing a version of Nomad, like some darker version of Captain America that basically wipes the floor with like the main 616 MCU heroes. When it comes to all the Captain America Steve Rogers stuff we see in the trailer, a lot of people asking what happened to old man Captain America in the MCU. Is he dead? Is he still alive? Is he out there in hiding somewhere? There was all the theorizing that Torres was doing, like, is he on the moon base? There's this theory that he's out there somewhere. Is he still alive and you're just not telling me? I think the actual truth of it is that old man Captain America did retire in secret. It's possible that it did wind up being a moon base. But I think part of the idea is they were going to secretly let him retire somewhere in peace and just live out the rest of his life. Because even though he does have the super soldier serum, look at how old he looks when he showed up at the end of Endgame. He does have like a little while left, and then he's probably going to die of natural causes. But because they directly reference him in the trailer, like when Thunderbolt Ross is yelling at Anthony Mackie's Captain America, saying, "You're no Steve Rogers," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not." He's basically trying to differentiate his Captain America from Steve Rogers' Captain America. They might also invoke Steve Rogers' Captain America in other big Easter eggs and references, maybe even a cameo scene during the movie. There's also all those funeral scenes that we see in the trailer, so people are like, wait a minute, does Old Man Cap actually die during the movie? Who dies? Like, they don't actually show you the tombstone, so you don't know who's supposed to be dead. Because there's been all the talk about all the reshoots that the movie has been through, supposedly in an early version of the movie, the ending was supposed to be different, and they were supposed to make you think that Thunderbolt Ross, Red Hulk, was going to die, but he was going to be revealed to secretly be alive in like one of the post-credit scenes. Supposedly in that deleted post-credit scene, he was going to show up at Betty Ross's house to try and make amends with her and heal his family because of all the years of the things that he'd done, like all the stuff with Bruce Banner Hulk, the Weapons Plus program, him becoming president, like basically destroyed their family. So basically he was going to show up in the post-credit scene to try and start to heal his family. But I think what they've changed about the movie is that they probably end things with it being way more clear that Thunderbolt Ross survives the movie, so Red Hulk will come back for sure in future Marvel movies. All because of the way Harrison Ford has talked about his Red Hulk character, like, oh, there's a possibility for so many more things after this movie, which basically means that he survives the movie. But everyone post all your reactions in the comments below. What do you think is going on with Chris Evans, Steve Rogers during the movie? Do you think it's just light references? Do you think they'll actually reveal what happened to Old Man Captain America? It just feels like they want to prep everyone for Avengers 5 Doomsday with Steve Rogers, Captain America coming, but from another universe in a darker version of the character. There's a bunch of stuff coming up. We're supposed to get a new Daredevil Born Again trailer really soon. Of course, I will do a video for it when they release that. I've already done a much bigger video on the last trailer they released. Click here for that, and click here to learn about Jason Momoa coming back as another character inside the new James Gunn DCU of movies. Thank you so much for watching, and Happy New Year!